Do you know what your resettlement entitlements are when you finally come to leave the UK Armed Forces? Hey everyone, and welcome to The Savvy Squaddy. In this video I'm going to go through a number of the entitlements you can get during your resettlement period when you leave the forces. Now this video is not a step-by-step guide on what you need to do once you've completed your 7 clicks. However, I will link below a very handy service leavers guide which is available on the Gov website. This does have a checklist of things to do during your final year which can help you with that. But instead, I'm going to cover the different resettlement packages available to everyone in all 3 services, as these vary depending on time served. As you should expect, those who serve longer are entitled to a better resettlement package. There are a lot of nuances and caveats that come with resettlement that I will not be covering here. If you are currently in the resettlement period or thinking of leaving, then when it comes to it, take it seriously and ask plenty of questions so you are best prepared. Don't just shrug it off. I have linked all my sources, including the JSPs, if you're that way inclined, in the description below if you fancy some late night reading. Right, firstly, for those of you who might not know, what is resettlement? Well, as per the Gov website, it is an MOD entitlement available to all ranks of the UK Armed Forces, with the sole aim of helping those to make the transition to Civvy Street as smoothly as possible and to achieve their goals. This is done through the CTP or Career Transition Programme that the MOD has with Right Management, who are the official resettlement contractors. Right Management deliver the majority of the resettlement programme. The CTP website offers a comprehensive guide to resettlement activities, how resettlement support may be accessed. It provides extensive information on wider elements of resettlement, including links to retirement and employment agencies, vocational training, and the employment market by region. There's also a very handy feature of the website called RightJobs, which has thousands of live job vacancies for service leavers, which is an amazing feature and can really help those out who haven't thought about what they might do when they leave. Now, you cannot just sign up for this website, you will be registered for it, and that will happen once you've completed the mandatory resettlement briefing that occurs once you are in that resettlement period. You will then have access to this website for up to 2 years after you leave. Resettlement is available for all regulars, FTRS and MPGS regardless of their length of service and the method of discharge. However, there are a number of different career transition partnership programs that vary depending on time served, and it is these programs that I'm going to focus on in this video. So first up is the Early Service Leavers or ESL program. This will be the resettlement program that service personnel who have done less than 4 years will come under. ESLs are entitled to resettlement support through the Career Transition Partnership Future Horizons program. A link to the page on the CTP website is below, and it even has a handy little video presentation with some more information on it should you need it. But in summary, under this program, you could get help with creating a CV, impartial career guidance, access to the CTP RightJob, information on local job opportunities, access to an employment advisor if required, and advice on college courses, training and apprenticeships. You will also be able to attend a FAR or Financial Aspects of Resettlement brief, which will include the topic of pensions and a housing brief. The only financial support you will get if you are an ESL are return travel warrants for these briefs and your face-to-face interview at one of the CTP Future Horizon hubs in either Catterick, Pirbright or Portsmouth. Next up is the Employment Support Programme, and this is for service leavers who have done between 4 and 6 years. As you've done a bit more time than an ESL, you have a few extra options available to you when it comes to resettlement. As well as what ESLs are entitled to, those on the Employment Support Programme can also receive individual careers advice through a personal client service advisor, and these peeps will help you develop a timetable of actions designed to help you find a job and to achieve your career goals. You will also get access to the job skills workshop and training courses which are not available to those early service leavers. Some of these are in person and some are online webinars. You can apply for these through the CTP website once you get access to it. But those who come under ESL and ESP programs are not entitled to GRT or Graduated Resettlement Time and the IRTC or Individual Resettlement Training Costs grant. This arguably is one of the better benefits that come with resettlement, and it is only available through the Core Resettlement Programme, which is for those service leavers who have done more than 6 years. Whilst this programme contains the complete range of entitlements under the resettlement packages, some of the allowances do increase the longer someone has served. As well as all the previously mentioned benefits of the other 2 programmes, those eligible for the CRP will also have access to a personal career consultant, a 3-day career transition workshop, a personal resettlement plan, opportunities for civilian trial attachments, and much more. Check out the website to see the full list. Earlier I mentioned graduated resettlement time and the individual resettlement training costs grant. Both of these benefits are unique to the Core Resettlement Package. But what are they? Well, the GRT is time off for resettlement training courses, civilian work attachments, and individual resettlement preparation. It's there so you don't have to use up your individual leave allowance to attend these courses. Those who have done 6 years or more will get at least 20 days of GRT. This does increase with time served. I will show a table a bit later on with the entitlements. Linked with the GRT entitlement are travel warrants. For every 5 days of GRT, you get 1 return travel warrant, which will get you to the location of any courses, etc. that you might want to undertake at no cost to you. Now, the individual resettlement training cost grant consists of up to £534 of funding towards vocational training courses at the resettlement centres, but it can also be used externally for training with CTP preferred suppliers. For contract-funded training, the MOD has prepaid for these courses, and the cost is equivalent to £26.70 per day and will be taken straight from this grant. This means that the grant can buy you up to 20 days of these contract-funded courses, and you can use your GRT in conjunction with them as well. You can also use the grant for non-contract funded courses. In this case, you can get up to a maximum of £427.20 or 80% of the grant paid in advance of the course, and the remainder paid to you upon completion. The grant cannot be used for books, materials, foods, or accommodation. If eligible, you are also entitled to use your enhanced learning credits towards courses as well, and for up to 5 years after you leave the forces. This topic deserves its own video, which I will be working on later this year. If you want more information on it before the video drops, then speak to your local education centre. It's definitely worth using, as you can get thousands of pounds towards courses. Certainly nothing to be sniffed at. Also, don't forget that during resettlement you are still entitled to the standard learning credits as well. You can get up to £175 of funding towards courses per financial year. Speak to your education centre for more information. This too will be a future video where I will go into much more detail about the scheme. On the CTP website you can see a bunch of courses that are on offer. It also states if it is contract or non-contract funded, the cost, the qualification, how many days it takes, if ELC can be used, and so on. A hugely useful feature of the website, and you don't even need an account to see what courses are available. Here's the table that summarises the 3 different programs I've gone through. You'll notice that if you are medically discharged, regardless of time served, you are entitled to the Core Resettlement Programme. You can see the years required for each program, the number of days of GRT you will receive, depending on time served, the IRTC grant, and the amount of travel warrants you will get. If you couldn't follow what I previously said about the programs, hopefully this helps you to visualise it to see the entitlements. Now, I'm not here to persuade you to stay in. You're old enough to make your own decisions and be responsible for any of the outcomes that may occur. But just make sure that you have actually thought it through before doing those 7 clicks. If you heavily rely on the military for a lot of the subsidies it offers, especially in the area of housing, then realise you could be taking a lifestyle hit when you leave. I have made a whole video where I go through how much I would have to earn on Civvy Street if I left the army now to see no change in my lifestyle, and it's much more than you might think. I'll leave a link below. It's just some food for thought and something to bear in mind when making that decision. The resettlement period is really important. Many people who join the armed forces do so at a young age. It is often their first job. They are oblivious to the nuances that come with civilian employment. There are people who finish their full career in the military and it is all they have ever known, and could be at a disadvantage when it comes to transitioning into civilian life. Resettlement sets out to bridge that gap, but it only works for those who are receptible to it. I've spoken to a number of my friends who have now left, and they all said it's down to the individual to actually make things happen. The tools and resources are there for service leavers to use, but it is up to them to actually utilise them to their full capability. You should not expect someone to do it all for you. People will be there to guide you and give you advice, but you actually need to take the actionable steps in order to have a successful resettlement and set you up for success when you hit Civvy Street. You will be very hard pressed to find a civilian job that offers a resettlement package similar to what is available to the UK Armed Forces. You'd be a fool not to take full advantage of what it has to offer. Hopefully now you have a much better understanding of the resettlement entitlements available to you and see how it's probably worth staying in at least until your 6-year point. But I'm also not here to try and get you to stay in. If you want to leave, then leave. But at least now you know what is on offer when you get to that stage. Have you found this video helpful? Are you currently in the resettlement period? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. If you liked what you just saw, please hit the subscribe button up there, and if you want to see some more videos, click over there. See you soon.